Welcome back to another video, friend. I'm happy that you're here. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I drop a brand new marketing video for home daycare as well as center owners. We talk about marketing, social media content, SEO, and all things that have to do with you growing your daycare. So if that type of thing interests you, then make sure to subscribe to the channel. So I decided to record a series on effective social media strategies for home daycare providers and small center owners, because you can definitely apply that to that as well. And I decided to break this up into small parts because I can talk about this subject for a long time, and I really try to keep the videos on my channel under 10 minutes long because I know that you have lots of things to do throughout the day. So I don't want you to be, listening to me go on and on for hours on end. So today I wanted to focus on one part of effective social media strategy, which is your audience, knowing exactly who you are speaking to, who you're marketing to, and really just dig deeper into that. You hear this term a lot in the marketing space. Who's your target audience? Who's your ideal audience? Who are your client avatars, right? And although this is very important when you're trying to sell your offer, I think that sometimes we overcomplicate this when it comes to daycare. If you were selling a service or that was catered to a specific person, or maybe you were selling products, I can see how doing market research that's a bit more developed into creating an avatar and knowing exactly who you're speaking to, I can see how that could actually apply. But in our case, we're dealing with families, local families that we're trying to get in our program. So I'm really going to go through this in a simple way and give you some examples so that you can see that it's not as difficult as you may think it is. Okay. So don't let the term target audience, overwhelm you, because it really is just the local family that you want to have in your program. Like, that's all it is. Okay. So why is this important when we're talking about having an effective social media strategy together? Okay. It's important because the way you show up, the things that you say, the things that you post about on your social media platform, when you're putting your educational curriculum together or your policy handbook, or even when you're putting your website together and you're typing up, the words, the copy on your website, all these things have one thing in common. We want to make sure that everything that we're putting out there on all our traffic points are attracting families to your program. Okay. And knowing what these families want, it's important because that's basically the foundational piece of any strategy, knowing exactly who these people are that we want to serve, where they live, what they're thinking about throughout the day, what they're looking for, so that in return, we can actually take our message or our posts or our website and position it in front of them so that they can stop and say, hey, like, I want to read more about this, right? So it's really important for you to understand that it's important for you to kind of stop and do this work before you venture off and put a website together, curriculum, putting posts together. It's really, really important. Okay. If you don't do this, the downside is you're basically trying to speak to everyone under the sun. You're trying to copy and paste, or you're trying to kind of put this bland message out there, hoping that at least one person is going to stop and say, hey, right, this is for me. When in reality, you would be better off tweaking your message, really honing it in and focusing on a few angles to make sure that every time you're showing up on social media, you have the attention of the families that you want to serve. Okay. So knowing your target audience, really important. What types of things do you want to know about them? Well, number one, you want to know exactly a bit about their age, right? So you have this idea in your head, well, how old are these people? Usually when we're dealing with families of young children, moms and dads, usually I would say like 20 to maybe early 40s, right? So it's important for you to have that in your mind, because again, as we go through the list, you'll see that, behaviors change depending on age demographics. So you want to make sure that you're doing this well and that you're setting yourself up for success when it comes to marketing or advertising your daycare on social media. Okay. So now that you know a little bit about their age bracket, you want to start thinking about, okay, what are their family dynamics like? Okay. Where do they live in my community, right? Are you only servicing, like your immediate community, or can you actually venture off and show these posts to people that live a little bit further from your address? Okay. Another thing to start thinking about is financial capabilities or their expectations, right? So what is someone willing to pay, right? If you're thinking of charging a premium price, but your community are families that don't really necessarily have the funds to spend, like a premium price for childcare, then you need to readjust, right? So these are important things to think about. There are a lot of websites on Google that you can have access to all this information. I'll actually link a PDF that I created in the show notes, so you can click on that and get access to that for free. It's going to bring you to a Google folder. It's a PDF that I put together, how to do market research. It's definitely going to help you, especially if you've never done this before and you want to make sure that you're doing it well. So I'll put a link in the comments, so make sure you look for that. But in any case, it's really important to know who you're speaking to, where they live, their age, their socioeconomic background, their expectations, so that you're really setting yourself up. Again, I'll give you a quick example. When I started my daycare, I wanted to charge a premium price. It so happened, though, that my community, when I did some market research, I realized that there were newly arrived immigrants in my country that had like nothing from their country. These were people that were on welfare, on social assistance, single family homes. So I quickly realized that I had to adjust my offer and my messaging so that I could get these people in and actually serve them and help them out, right? So again, really important. The other thing you want to think about is when you're doing your market research, you want to think about, well, what are they looking for, right? What types of services are they looking for? Are they looking for childcare that's open a little bit longer than regular, like standard times? Or are they looking for weekend care? Are they looking for an extra meal throughout the day? Are they looking for, extracurricular activities that are done throughout the week with you? Are they looking for a Montessori program? Are they looking for something bilingual? So, again, market research, going on your competitors' websites and snooping around, asking in local Facebook groups this question. It's really important because it's really going to tell you exactly what families are actively searching for and what they're not finding in your community, right? Because once you know, well, no one's in my area is offering this, then you can go to work and really just offer that in your program and then market that as well, okay? The other thing you want to think about is every time you're putting a post together or you're putting your website together, you want to think about, why should someone stop and read this? Like, is it speaking to their concern, their fear, their struggle? What is a mom and dad? What do they want to hear or to learn about so that they can feel comfortable enough to send me a message or book a visit with me? Okay. Not easily done, but it's really important that you think about that one mom and dad that's going to read this message you're going to put together and think to yourself, is this educating them? Is this showing them that I'm an authority in childcare, that I know what I'm doing? Is this making them feel more confident to reach out to me? Or is it just something I just put out there because I had nothing else to post about that day? Okay. Things to think about when you're putting your strategy together. You also want to think about the right social media platforms, right? So obviously, Facebook is a big one. Most of your clients are already on Facebook. And if they're not on Facebook, they probably have an account that's not very active, but they're most probably on Instagram. So Facebook and Instagram are great ways for you to reach families. But after doing some market research, you figure out that most of your local families have younger parents, and they're on TikTok or they're on YouTube or they're on Pinterest. You can definitely test that out to see if it's feasible for you to actually show up on these platforms as well. Okay. But for most of my clients are on Facebook and Instagram, and it's more than enough to reach families in your community, I promise. And lastly, you want to start thinking about your social media content. So now that you've gathered this information, you want to think, okay, what can I post about? What types of things are important to me in my center that I know I can create content around, put posts around, or visuals or videos that's going to allow someone to know a little bit more my program. It's going to help them understand what we do with the kids. It's going to make them feel more confident reaching out because, maybe you're sharing reviews, testimonials, your background, your credentials, and really just sit in front of your laptop and put out like maybe a week's worth of content. So what I do, which is the easiest thing, is I think of 4 or 5 different angles that I can communicate with my followers, right? So let's say one is mindset around marketing. The other one could be, focusing on cost-effective ways to advertise organically on social media, right? So think about 4 or 5 pillars that are really important to you in your program. This can be organic meals. It can be an educational curriculum. It could be kindergarten prep. It could be vegan meal plan. It could be spending most of your days outdoors, right? Every daycare has their own unique offers and 5 things at least that make them different from their competitors. So figure out what those are for you in your center or your home daycare, and then create content around that and stay consistent. Like if you're going to do this, you're going to do this well. You're going to decide to show up for your business every single day, and you're going to post visuals and videos and content that really is going to allow those that are following you to reach out to get some more information, right? So that is the beginning of an effective social media marketing strategy. Whether you're a small in-home or a larger center, this is the foundational work that needs to happen. And then everything else we build on that. So let me know if you have any questions underneath this video. Make sure you check out for that PDF that I promised you guys. And if you're a home daycare provider and you really need help with your marketing, you're really confused, you don't know how to do this on your own, and you need someone to kind of guide you, create the content for you, give you that marketing training that you need, I'd love to invite you to try out our membership for 5 days for free. And then if you decide to stick around, you'll get billed after the 5 days are up. If you decide after 5 days, it's not for me, then you can cancel. I'll put all that information under this video. As always, I hope that this information blesses you and your business, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.